Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Well, ICE just murdered another US citizen. And of course, they're crafting the narrative and blaming him. He shouldn't have been in his neighborhood, where he lives, carrying a gun, which he was legally owned to carry. I mean, make it make sense, what the fuck? And then you have people online that are constantly saying, oh, it's a fuck around and find out moment. Y'all are fucking idiots. How many freedoms do you need to give away before it's too many? We gotta change this shit, man. This is not the way America's supposed to go. Land of the free, home of the brave. Turned out to be land of the goons. It's fucked up. But anyway, back to the show. I woke up already tired. That's new. Not like I worked too hard yesterday. But this is the kind of tired where your bones feel borrowed. Like your body is leasing energy it doesn't own anymore. I can't get out of bed right away. I learned that lesson last week. Standing up costs too much. Every movement is a trade. If I move now, I won't have enough energy to move later. My wife is already sitting at the table. There's nothing on it. Not a plate. Not a crumb. Just silence. The baby's awake, but she's not crying. And that's when the fear really kicks in. Crying means strength. Crying means reserves. When a baby stops crying, it means the tank is empty. Outside, the snow looks clean, peaceful, like a postcard. Then I hear it. Wheels. Slow, heavy, crunching. A wagon. I don't even have to look, because we all know that sound now. That's not help. That's inventory management. That's the state showing up to audit our deaths. I step outside and see the boot prints. This isn't a famine. Famines don't bring rifles. Famines don't bring paperwork. Famines don't search your house and punish you for surviving too long. This is something else. This is starvation with rules. This is hunger enforced by men who get paid. The clock starts. Because when the state decides you don't deserve food, you don't starve by accident. You starve on schedule. Welcome back to the Time Machine Diaries. Today we're talking about the Holodomor. And I'm not here to debate words. I'm here to tell you how a government turned bread into a weapon and used it perfectly. This is not a sad history episode. This is not a, wow, times were tough. This is not both sides. This is a case study in authoritarian control that went so far, it erased entire villages and then blamed the victims for disappearing. If you ever heard someone say, it couldn't happen here, or that was a different time, or our modern systems wouldn't allow that, I want you to sit with this episode. Because every single step of the Holodomor uses tools that exist today. Food control, paperwork, movement restrictions, propaganda, dehumanization, and blame shifting. Nothing about this is ancient. Only the bones are. Let's ground ourselves. Ukraine isn't poor land. Ukraine isn't marginal land. Ukraine is elite farmland. Black soil, Chernozem, so fertile it almost looks fake. This land fed empires long before the Soviet Union existed. Polish empires, Russian empires, Ottoman trade routes. Everybody wanted this land. Because if you could control grain, you don't just feed people, you control stability. And Ukraine wasn't just land, it was culture, language, memory. Villages that didn't need permission to survive. It was independence. And that's what scared Moscow. Here's the dirty secret of authoritarianism. The most dangerous person isn't a rebel with a gun. It's a citizen who can live without the state. A farmer with land, tools, livestock, and community doesn't panic when governments fail. They don't beg, they don't kneel, and they don't need propaganda. They eat. And that is unacceptable to a regime that survives on obedience. So Stalin doesn't just want Ukraine inside the USSR. He wants it dependent. And dependency starts with food. Collectivization gets sold as modernization. Efficiency, equality, shared ownership. That's the brochure. In reality, it's the government saying the land isn't yours anymore, your animals aren't yours, your harvest belongs to the state, and your survival is conditional. Imagine today if the government walked into your house and said, your fridge contents are now federal assets, your paycheck is collective property, your kid's lunch is subject to review, and if you complain, we'll label you dangerous. That's collectivization. And Ukraine resisted, because of course they did. I sure as fuck would've. Now, we hit on one of the most important mechanisms, labels. Kulak originally meant wealthy peasant. But under Stalin, it meant whatever they wanted it to mean. You owned extra land? Kulak. Had stored grain? Kulak. Refused to join the collective, or you look suspicious? Kulak. Once labeled, you weren't a citizen anymore. You were an obstacle. And obstacles don't get rights. And this is how mass violence always starts. With language.
I'm standing in a room with men who used to be my neighbors. They won't look at me. An official reads names. Each name is followed by silence. When he says mine, someone coughs. That's it. That's the vote. Not yell. No argument. I'm now a kulak, which means my land is gone. My animals are gone. My future is gone. And everyone in this room knows it. But nobody speaks, because silence is safer than empathy.
And here's where denial collapses. The Soviet grain quotas weren't just aggressive. They were physically impossible. Villages were ordered to deliver more grain than they could produce, even in perfect conditions. And when they failed, the state didn't adjust. They accused. You're hiding grain. So they searched and searched and searched. They took wheat, potatoes, beets, pickled vegetables, dried mushrooms, and then they took seed grain. And that's the part that removes doubt. Seed grain is next year. Taking seed grain is saying, I want you dead now and later. That's not mismanagement. That's intent.
They tear my house apart like it owes them money. Floorboards up, walls probed, hay stabbed. My kid is screaming. They don't care. They find a pouch. Barely anything. Not even a meal. But it's enough to prove guilt. The man writes it down. That pencil decides who eats and who dies. And we failed.
If your village missed quotas, it could be blacklisted. And blacklisted meant no trade, no markets, no salt, no kerosene, no medicine, no outside contact. You were surrounded, starved, and punished. It was sanctions, but against your own people. Imagine cutting off electricity, food, and medicine to a town today and calling it policy. That's what this was. Now here's the moment where ideology goes fully insane. Picking leftover grain from a field became illegal. Children were arrested. Starving children. For gathering scraps. Think about the psychology required to enforce that. You have to value the system more than life. You have to believe obedience matters more than breathing. It was fucking cult logic. And this is the smoking gun. People tried to leave. The state stopped them. Travel was restricted, papers denied, trains guarded, roads blocked. If you were starving, you were trapped. That's the difference between famine and execution. Locking people in while they starve is murder. There's no semantic escape hatch here.
I'm on the road. The guard doesn't look at my face. He looks at my papers, then shakes his head. No, I try to explain. He raises the rifle. That's the end of the conversation.
While millions starved, the state denied everything. Doctors were pressured to falsify causes of death. Journalists were escorted through staged areas. Talking about hunger became dangerous. And here's the modern parallel. When governments do harm, the first thing they attack isn't people, it's truth. By the end of 1932, food is gone, survival is illegal, villages are sealed, escape is blocked, truth is forbidden. 1933 is coming, and when it hits, it doesn't bring hunger, it brings disappearance. People don't just die, they vanish, and the state pretends nothing happened. All right, y'all. That's it for part 1. Stay safe. Keep your head down. Fuck ICE.